Okay. All right. So welcome everybody. Welcome to our purification circle for Mother Earth, or Lady Gaia, if you want to call her that. We all have different names for it, and it's so nice to see all of your faces. I'm so happy to have all of you guys on and joining. Thank you so much. I think there's so much healing that we need and so much healing for the world that we need as well. So this is going to be one big healing party, so to speak. So I hope you guys are ready. So when I woke up this morning, the chant that came to mind right away for not only our call today, and we'll chant a bit with each other here in a bit, but just for what's going on in our world, for the coronavirus, which is one of many things that will happen, and we'll talk about that here in a minute in the future, but was the chant for green Tara. So again, that chant, I'll type it in the box for you, but it's Om Tare Tutare Ture Swaha. So that is the chant. So there it is. I just put it in the chat box if you guys want to write it down. Hello, we have other folks joining. So that is the chant that I recommend that all of us chant over the next probably 14 days for the next 2 weeks to help raise our own vibrations and also to raise the vibration and the energy of our global consciousness. And so again, how this call is going to work today, I'm going to go through with you some information that I have about coronavirus specifically. If you have any questions about that, you can put them in the chat box and I'll answer them. This is the time for sure for us to do that. Then we're going to do a guided meditation to activate the thymus and our immune system and to raise our vibrations a little higher as a group. And then we're going to raise some energy for Mother Earth. So the whole goal of today is really just healing. It's healing at all levels, all ways, and for all things. So all sentient beings and for the Earth herself. So the first thing I want to share about the coronavirus is, again, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. We don't want to panic, you guys. That's the last thing we want to do. We want to support our immune systems and raise our vibration. Destructive emotions is what they're called in Buddhism, but destructive emotions are fear, anger, sadness, grief, anxiety, stress. Those are all destructive emotions because they create a disintegration and a destruction in our cells and at all levels, the etheric body, the physical body. We want to stay in the constructive emotions, love, compassion, peace, grace, all of those things, okay? So we want to stay with those positive emotions. And so those emotions construct our DNA. I also want to share with you that the DNA helix is actually our journey currently, but it's flipped on its side. So I want you to imagine, I have my little notebook right here. Okay, so we'll draw DNA, right? It's kind of like this, these strands. Oh my God, that's a kindergarten picture, but that's it. So this is our life experience. Now watch. This is how we're experiencing it in linear reality. So we're dipping and rising and dipping and rising, but in actuality, it is the spinning and the twisting of the helix of the DNA, okay? So when you think about our life experience and you're like, gosh, I'm feeling grief and sadness and turmoil, which by the way, I don't know a single one of us who hasn't had that in the last couple of weeks. It's been just awful emotionally. We're in this part of our pattern. We're just in a twist. And so one thing you can do in your meditations is imagine that spiral of energy and imagine this dip that you're in and turn it on its head and imagine that you're actually going up. You're always, always, always going up, okay? You're never going down. It just feels like it, but you're actually always working your way up. You're just in different parts of that DNA strand that you're experiencing that's called consciousness in linear reality. Okay, so with coronavirus, the message that I received throughout the week very strongly is this. This virus is an energy of grief being released from Gaia, from Mother Earth. So imagine that you are Mother Earth and you just let out this weep. And I don't know about you guys, you can raise your hands. Have you not had that weep in the past week or 2 or 3? Like, have we had it? Yep, for sure. So that moment when you just can't hold it in anymore and it's just out, that's what's happening with the earth. Why? Animals are leaving, plants are leaving, things are changing. It's a massive opening of the heart chakra for all sentient beings, but especially for human beings, because we have been in such a place of our heads, and suddenly our heart is being ripped open with compassion because we are losing things that we were taking for granted, including toilet paper, which I have to make jokes because we have to laugh about all this, right? Things that we take for granted, like toilet paper, or more seriously, like polar bears, right? Like all these beautiful animals in Australia that have left us. So there's this grief and this sadness. And where does grief manifest? Our lungs. That's right. And where does coronavirus manifest? Our lungs. Okay? So this massive grief has come up and all of us have been feeling it. And my God, it has pushed us through some stuff in the middle of Mercury retrograde, which we're still in the post shadow for another week. Hate to tell you. Mercury went direct, but we're in the post shadow. So all these themes that are coming up are like ripping us apart. And I cannot tell you the clients and colleagues and friends that I have heard, we can't even talk to each other. I don't know about you, but I can't even talk to anyone right now because there's so much grief and pain and sadness and there's all this crap in my life. And I know that it's the same for each and every one of you. And that's because we are healers. We are part of the indigo community and we have been activated. It is the time of the uprising, and the time of the uprising is linked to the indigo template. And what that means is you've been a healer all your life. You've been a psychic all your life. You have been spiritual all your life, but now you actually have to do something with it. And I don't even know where these words are coming from at this point because they're just flying out of my mouth. But now is the time for us to take our spiritual tools and use them each and every minute of every day. And the message that I got, and I'm hoping I can create some time and space to write a blog post about it as well, but the message that I got in the middle of a reading with a really dear, dear client and colleague of mine is that it is up to us to process the grief from Mother Earth out and transmute it. Okay, and so what that means is the earth has released this grief energy, and now it's up to us to process and transmute that energy. In Tibetan Buddhism, it's called Tonglen. It's the process of taking in someone's grief and pain and suffering, and then transmuting it in our bodies and releasing it as pure light. And that is what we're going to do today. We're going to bring in that grief energy and transmute it into light. That's the practice we're going to do together. And then I highly encourage continuing to do it over and over. And as you do that, it's going to naturally purify your own grief and your own trauma and your own pain and your own suffering. It's going to transmute that and send it out to the light. But part of why all this baggage is coming up and whatever themes have been coming up for you, they're heavy themes. And the reason they're coming up is because it's time for you to face that shadow so that you can step into your full power as a light worker. So when we talk about the bigger picture of the coronavirus, this is the information that I've received. Now, I've posted on my social media channels a link to Magenta Pixie's information on coronavirus. I highly recommend listening to that. It's detailed information that's really valuable, I feel. And then I also posted a meditation from Elizabeth Peru that's free to everyone for activating your immunity. We're actually going to do some of this work with our thymus during our practice today as well. So, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. So I highly recommend using those as resources I trust as well. Okay, so here's some additional information on the coronavirus that I got. So told you about the grief, and I'm looking at my notes here. So the next thing is we have to raise our vibration. So part of that comes from chanting and purifying grief and meditation and all those things. But again, it's about conscious and constructive emotions, okay? So just remember staying in peace, joy, light, trust, faith, compassion. These are the places that we want to be to keep our vibration raised. The lower vibration is that vibration of any virus, okay? So not just coronavirus, but any virus, bacteria, fungus, any outside biological form that's trying to attack our biological form runs at a lower vibration. So it's very important that we keep our vibration high. Another way that we raise our vibration, you guys, is eating clean, organic, natural foods. So whole foods. So everybody's buying all sorts of processed crap at the grocery store to sit inside for 2 weeks. And I'm going to be at the grocery store every day buying produce when no one else is there. And that's what you guys need to be doing too. So hear that from me, like go get your fresh produce. And this is just a test run. Like I've heard that so many times from my spirit guides this week. This is a test run. So without generating fear, what I want to say is this was not the first accidental release of a virus, and it will not be the last, okay? So this is your wake-up call to protect yourself in whatever way you need to. So if you haven't been eating the best things and you're like, oh, I know I need to cut out sugar, or, oh, you know, I know I need to go practice yoga, and you haven't done it, do it, because that is going to strengthen and build your immune system for the long term. So don't ignore these intuitive signals from your body that are telling you what you need to do, because we don't have the luxury of ignoring them anymore. Like I'm a chocoholic, like love chocolate. And every once in a while I eat some chocolate I shouldn't have, that's not organic, that's not dark, that's not pure, all that business. And I don't have that luxury anymore. That was really one of the messages I got this week. I suck at growing plants. I know that's crazy because I do a lot of spiritual work, but I do not have a green thumb. And I realized this week, like, I have to figure this out. I have to start growing some herbs to protect my family and some vegetables to protect my family. So again, just be thinking when you think about conscious living and conscious eating is whatever's coming up for you right now with all this panic out in the world and in the grocery stores and all these things. I want you to think about what it is that's coming up for you in particular that is a long-term lifestyle change that you want to make. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, oh yeah, and one of Tamara just wrote, it's Colorado's difficult to grow. It is difficult to grow things here. One of the other things here is alkalizing the body. So if you've heard of Edgar Cayce, he was a famous trance channel back in the 1940s, 50s, and he wrote an entire book about alkalizing the body. I'm a firm believer in this. I haven't found all the science I want to find about it, but I've been practicing this throughout the last decade myself when I am sick with bacteria or fungus or anything like that. Alkalizing the body will reduce the chances of you getting any kind of virus, bacteria, fungus, any of that stuff, okay? So if you can work on alkalizing your body and managing your acid alkaline balance over the next month here, that's gonna support you also. There are grasses and super greens and all sorts of things you can do to alkalize the body, and pH strips are like, I don't know, they're like $4 at natural grocers and Whole Foods and stuff, and you can check your pH. I've read that viral infections have a hard time at an 8.0, but if you're at a 6.0 acid alkaline balance, that's when you're susceptible. Again, I haven't found all the science I want to find, but I want to give you that information because it's something that's come up. So again, just know that acid alkaline balance is important. And the number one thing that reduces acidity in the body, that reduces your risk to disease, cancer, virus, bacteria, fungus, is sugar, you guys. get rid of sugar. If you can get rid of sugar and be more on a candida diet for the next month or so, it's not only going to cleanse your body naturally at springtime when we're supposed to be cleansing anyways, but it's also going to significantly reduce the chances of you being sick by anything that's floating around right now. Because it's not just coronavirus. We have flu floating around and other things. And my stepson has strep throat and oh my gosh. Okay, so reduce sugars to eliminate acidity, reduce bacteria and fungus. It's not a healthy environment for a virus to live in an alkalized body. So that's something you can get too far off the map with alkalized. I've done that before. And if that happens, usually fresh fruit is a good way to bring back the acidity that you need without destroying all the work you did to be alkalized. Okay, and then just a reminder, I had no idea why I felt so strongly about getting my Indigo Flow natural detox guide out by March 1st, but I was like, I'm getting this out by March 1st. Clearly this was why. It's free for you guys. So it's a great resource. If you haven't downloaded it already, it's free on my site, and it's going to give you everything you need for eating, for being balanced, and for working on the spiritual baggage that's coming up in the midst of all of these things. So that's kind of a thing to help you with your diet as well. This is our call. So when you hear people say, oh, I've got my calling, I got my calling, this is it. Like, this is it. All the pain, all the suffering, all the grief, all this. I don't know how many of us thought we were having nervous breakdowns in the last 2 weeks, but most of us. And that's because you just got your calling. And so this is our call to rise above a linear reality, that three-dimensional linear reality that's activating our fight or flight response. This is going to be the new way of living, which is a higher vibrational way of living, reducing and completely deactivating fight or flight in your system, activating your thymus gland and the immunity, bringing your vibration up into the heart and the throat chakra instead of the lower chakras like your sacral and your solar plexus. This is it. So when they talk about a new earth, here it is. It's happening right in front of our eyes. Okay, so with all of that said, I did look very basic psychic prediction wise at the timelines for this, and I really see this being the energy through the 1st of May. And that lines up with most of the astrologers that I trust, but my cards continue to say that we've got about 5 or 6 more weeks left of this mayhem the way it is. Now the ripple effects will go on from there. It really looks like we fully bounce back September and October. So this is going to be kind of an ongoing thing, but nothing like what we're experiencing right now. It's pretty intense right now. So with all of that said, I want to open it up here in the chat box. If any of you guys have questions about coronavirus or about anything I just said, please throw them out. I'm happy to answer them. I have researched a ton with my trusted resources, even looking at old stuff, Edgar Casey information about China and all sorts of stuff. So I've been doing a lot of research, and I really believe that at the end of the day, it's about deactivating fight or flight in the body, eating clean, and raising our vibration through spiritual practice. Those are like the key things I think that we need to do. Does anybody have any questions? You just click the little chat thing and you can write. I'm going to unmute us at the end for chanting, but I just want to keep it so that there's not much going on. I'm not seeing any questions, so throw them out if you have them. But we're going to move on to the meditation piece. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to get grounded in our space. So I want you to just notice where you're sitting. So again, just notice where you're sitting. Are you sitting in a chair? Are you sitting on the floor? Are you laying on your bed? Where are you? Some of you might be in a car, I don't know. But just get situated in your space. I have incense burning back in my altar behind me, and I've been listening to chanting and meditation since about 6 a.m. this morning. And go ahead and close down your eyes. And I want you to take the palms of your hand and I want you to place them either on the chair where you're sitting, directly onto the earth, or if you want to on your thighs, but palms down. I'm teaching all of my classes, whether it's yoga, meditation, these kinds of calls, whatever it is, palms down this year. It's about being in our body and being connected to the earth. It's not about floating away right now. So bring your palms down and bring your awareness to the bottoms of your feet and the palms of your hands. And just notice your connection to the physical space that you're in right now. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Continue to breathe. And on your next inhalation, bring the awareness to the bottoms of your feet. Imagine the palms of your feet opening as though they are flowers blossoming in springtime, opening directly to the earth below you, to Mother Earth. Take a nice deep breath in and just feel that connection of your feet to the earth. And now imagine that the earth is sending you the most powerful, healing, turquoise, diamond ray of light. And feel that turquoise ray of diamond light coming up through those flowers at the palms of your feet and beginning to fill up your toes and your feet and your ankles, going up your lower legs, filling up the calves and shins. This turquoise diamond ray of light is now moving into the kneecaps, filling up the knee chakras and the knee joints with this green light. And then this light moves up the thighs and begins to fill in your hips, and bring your hands to your hip bones. So you're going to feel your hip bones with your hands. I can show you here. You're going to feel your hip bones like this. And just imagine that this beautiful turquoise green light is filling up your hip bones with energy. And it's pressing out any tension or stress or stuck energy in the hip bones and the pelvic floor, as well as the womb. Bring your hands to your sacral chakra. For us ladies, that's your womb space, but it's the space at your genitalia. So bring your hands there and just imagine this space filling with turquoise diamond rays of light. So beautiful. And then bring your hands up to your solar plexus, so the point directly above your belly button. This space is the space of anxiety and stress and worry. And it's connected to our stomach and our digestion, which is connected to that fight or flight response and emotional eating. And so imagine this space just being blasted with turquoise diamond rays of light, blasting out the emotion and the grief and the stress and the fear and the worry and the anxiety that sits there. Take a deep breath in and feel the entire belly expand with air. And release out through the mouth all of that stress and tension and anxiety. Now bring your hands to your heart center. And you're going to take two of your fingers, right or left hand, doesn't matter, but you're going to take your pointer finger and your middle finger, and you're going to find that place directly right under the breastbone. And place those two fingers there. This is where your thymus gland is. Your thymus gland creates a white blood cell that's very important. And our thymus gland hasn't been activated as a global consciousness. And that activation is happening now. You'll probably see a lot of information coming from the spiritual communities about the thymus gland. Some of your thymus glands may even be dormant. And so what I want you to visualize is that green turquoise energy in the heart center, which is directly connected to the green, like a watermelon green color of the heart, which is compassion, and begin to tap your thymus with your two fingers. This is activating the thymus. So anytime you feel concerned or worried, or quite frankly, even if you're just sitting watching TV, tap that thymus. And just keep tapping it and breathing. Feel that immunity activation. Breathing in turquoise green light and breathing out turquoise green light. Imagining all of your energy filled with turquoise green light. We'll tap for just about 10 more seconds. All right, you can stop tapping and bring your hands and your awareness to your throat chakras. On your inhalation, bring the breath directly into your throat chakra, your thyroid glands, esophagus. And imagine beautiful turquoise blue, the color of the ocean. Breathing in the colors of the most beautiful, clear ocean you've ever seen. And breathing out white light. Feel your throat chakra opening with this beautiful color and release any tension or stress. One more breath in here and release. And you can bring your palms back down to the chair or the ground or your thighs, palms down. And as you breathe in, imagine this beautiful ray of turquoise diamond light filling up your entire head, filling up your brain. See your brain all the way down to the DNA strands, filling up with turquoise diamond light. And then this turquoise diamond light begins to spill out your crown chakra, out the top of your head, filling up your auric field with beautiful, brilliant turquoise white diamond light. Until you imagine your entire space, perhaps the entire room, your home, the entire neighborhood, the city. And begin to pull your view out until you are seeing the entire earth, the globe, filled with turquoise white diamond rays of light. And you see the earth just gleaming with this turquoise white light, and you see it just disintegrating the fear and the stress and the worry. Breathe in and out. Bring your chin to your chest and slowly flutter your eyes open. And then you can come back here to the present moment. Hello, everyone. Just checking everybody. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I hope everybody's feeling better so far. What we've done is we've activated the thymus, and I wore this scarf for a reason, okay? It's all about turquoise. Wear your turquoise colors, visualize turquoise. Turquoise is the color of the throat chakra and the heart chakra, the green and the blue, combining together at that thymus gland. Oh. So that is a color of immunity for us right now. And you're going to see it in my social media posts. You're going to see it in many other psychics and healers, I believe, as well. Cover yourself in turquoise. It's the best thing to do. And so what we're going to do right now is that visualization. By the way, I'll put this on my YouTube channel so you guys can access this video again. You can go through that visualization because the goal is to fill the entire grid of the earth with that turquoise light. And so I don't want to talk too much because I want to do some chanting for Mother Earth, to heal Mother Earth. And if you guys can get outside in nature this weekend and do this chanting and put your hands and your bare feet on the earth, even better. And so there's a practice called bhakti, and bhakti is ultimately chanting together to raise a vibration. And so I'm going to keep it very simple, but I'm going to unmute everyone, and I'm going to ask that we chant together. The more of us that are chanting together, no matter how embarrassed we might feel, the more energy we're going to raise. So I really want to do that. So I'm going to unmute everyone. Okay, everybody's unmuted. And we're going to chant. I'll type it in the chat box. And I see some questions. I'll make sure to answer those here when we're done. But we're going to chant Om Shanti Om. This is a chant for peace. And it's all about world peace. I mean, truly, it's about compassion and world peace. So I'm going to start us, but I want you guys to join in. We're going to do this for a couple minutes. And as we're chanting this, you can keep your eyes open or closed, but as we're chanting this, I want you to visualize that turquoise white diamond light rays covering all of the earth. Okay, so you guys ready? All right, so deep breath in, and we're going to chant together. Om Shanti Om. 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 Let's take a deep breath in together and all chant one single Om together. Ready? Inhale. Om. Nice. Do you guys feel it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So good. So we're not done yet. I'm gonna mute everyone again. Here we go. Okay, I think everyone's muted again. The last thing we're gonna do, last but definitely not least, is a healing for all of us. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my gong. So hold please, let me grab it. Hold on. This baby, right? Who doesn't love this guy? All right, let's see if I can situate it. Okay, we got it? Okay, so I want you to close down your eyes again. Just get situated. And put your hand on your heart. And ask yourself what's made you sad this week. It's gonna make me sad just thinking about it. Where have you felt suffering and pain and fear and grief? And really feel it. And put your hands where that grief and pain is. Where do you feel that pain and that grief? Put your hands on that pain and that grief and that fear. And say thank you. Because it's an opportunity to release an old pattern from generations ago. And it's time to go. So tell that fear and that pain and that suffering that you love it. And you are so happy it showed you what you needed to see, and it doesn't serve you anymore, and it is time to leave. And keep your hands there, keep your eyes closed. The vibration of the gong transforms DNA. And the Neptune gong, the particular gong my husband and I got, is actually the expert of experts in transmuting your DNA. So thank all those ancestors for what they've given you that are gifts, and let them know that you are freeing them and yourself from that pain. And I just want you to listen to the gong and the vibrations and just notice what you feel and what you see, and receive your healing. Take a deep breath in. Feel the low belly fill with air. And on the exhale, release your pain, your worry, your stress. Bring your chin to your chest. And flutter your eyes open and come back to our group. One of the questions in the chat box was, as we're all being quarantined, how do you suggest we connect while we're at home? And that's a great way to end our group today. Is we stay connected by reminding each other that we are safe, to hold space for all of us to stay out of fear, to still go to your yoga class, you guys. Stay in your meditation practice. Eat healthy, clean foods. And I think it's okay to go to the store. I mean, it's up to you and what you want to do, but eat healthy, take care of yourself. And on my part, I will be posting as much as I can on social media, as I always do. So I'll post prayers and thoughts and information and whatever else comes to me spiritually to share. I'll be sharing as well. I do have a video on coronavirus from last week. If you haven't seen it yet, I just share my thoughts on diet and how to support your immune system. Very similar to what's over here. Kathy, thank you, you're welcome. That guide was, I don't know where that came from, but I love it. I mean, I know where it came from. It was years and years of work, but at the same time, it definitely came out when it meant to. And so that's how we stay connected. We remind each other to be in turquoise light. I might wear this scarf every day for the next week and tap your thymus gland. And this is no different from any other day, you guys. And so many of us in my community, which is all of you, have already been sick or have autoimmune or have already been down this road. You guys, this is like old hat for some of us, you know, just stay clean and come out of fight or flight. And I know I taught a yoga class Thursday night, and my whole goal of that class was to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and to stay out of fight or flight. We are in it every day as a culture. And now it's time for us to be out of it. It's time to come out of trauma, really. And we can do it. We're all doing it. And we're all leaders of our own communities that are helping to do it. And so thank you guys so much for being on this call. This will go up on YouTube, hopefully today. Technology and I aren't good friends, so it takes me time to get things done, but it will get there, and you can access the gong sounds and the meditations and everything anytime you want to. And if you have more questions or comments, you can email me. You can also just post them. This is live on Facebook too, so you can post there. And for everybody who's on Facebook, absolutely, I'll get to your questions. Somebody said, I've had a headache for 10 days and no fever. Is this crown chakra? It could be, but my gut feeling, Kathy, is that it's more likely your third eye being activated and all the gunk that was trapped in your throat chakra is stuck in your head. So I would work on that purification between the throat and the third eye with that turquoise light. Trying to think of what else. Anybody else have any questions before we go? Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. And I know that our lives are not easy, but we're here and we're doing it. And not everybody gets that chance. Not every soul gets to come here and do this right now at this time. Like, we're the brave ones who said, sign me up, I'll come do that. That sounds fun. Oh my gosh, here we are. I don't know how fun it is, but we're definitely here. So we have to honor this gift we've been given by staying as high vibration as we can. Joy, light, positivity. If you get stuck in grief, just purify, purify, purify. You don't need a virus to tell you you're grieving. So acknowledge it, let it go. Acknowledge, let it go. And sinuses, I see Sarah's pose, sinuses are is anger. This is all anger. This is grief. This is speaking your truth. So time to do some shouting with the sinuses and neti pot. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I just can't say enough, and we'll be doing more of this, I'm sure, to come. It's up to us to hold the space for our earth. She's sad, and what do we do when our friends are sad? We comfort them, and we give them what they need, and we nurture. And so let's nurture the earth today. You know, just love it. All right. Namaste, everybody. Bye-bye.